Hello, everyone, and welcome to day one of Automate Live. And this is my friend Etienne Lacroix from Vention. You're the president and CEO. Yeah. And I just wanted to get you to tell people who have maybe never heard of Vention, how do you explain Vention?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, Jim. The best way to describe Vention is you need to combine Lego Mindstorm with 3D design software and Amazon Prime. And if you mix those three things together, you get a platform-based approach to automation, which makes automation more accessible, faster, simpler, so more people can automate.
Vention started building really small, simple assemblies like table bases, right? And conveyor bases and that kind of thing. But you've grown to be such a different piece of the puzzle for automation integrators, for end manufacturers. And what's interesting about Vention is you see a lot of trends happening in the industry. So what are some of those trends?
You know, you're right to say Vention came a long way from our early days. It was actually here at Automate, Jim, you might remember. And as a very young startup to today, we have a global footprint with thousands of customers. I think the trend that is very visible in this day and age is how close we are getting to the 1 year payback for small, medium manufacturers. And one thing that is helping us get there is the role that physical AI is playing. If you think about the robot cell of the future, there's just less hardware. Instead of having precise jigs and fixtures, you have a machine learning model. Instead of having hundreds of sensors, you have one or two cameras to do the orchestration. So the robot cells of the future will cost less and will get us to get to that 1 year payback that CFO would like to see for industrial automation.
Now, you've got some, we're going to talk about AI and motion because you have released some new boxes. Can you tell the audience a little bit about what they're called and what they're offering?
Yeah.
They're here at the show, of course.
You know, Vention being on the mission to make industrial automation accessible to many, many people, one of the key product decisions we took in the early days was to offer a cabinet-free automation controller. And we call that Machine Motion. And at this show, we're announcing Machine Motion AI, which is our third generation. It's still are based on the same principle of plug-and-playness. We don't want people to have to deal with terminal blocks and pigtail wire. We want everything to be connector-based, so you no longer need an electrician. So a manufacturing professional who's not necessarily a control expert can still wire and turn on his machine very simply. Now, what's interesting about this third generation controller is not only it can power significantly more, so we're talking, Jim, 3,000 watts of power, 30 daisy-chainable motors for very complex assembly line and machine, but it can also run AI workload. Right. And we're moving slowly towards autonomous robotics. Yes. That means you need maybe a little bit less PLCs and a little bit more GPUs. Right. And Machine Motion AI comes ready for those workload. And there's a lot of additional things like an LTE connectivity, so you no longer have to hook to the plant Wi-Fi. You can be connected to your machine in a secure fashion. There's a lot of additional benefit like this.
So you've got 4 different cells. Actually, you have maybe more than those, but you've kind of got some new click and connect, or did I get the name right?
Correct, right? There's always a trade-off in automation where you can go the fully custom route, and it's slower, it's costlier. And nowadays, you know, there's very productized application that we've become familiar to, but you need some time in between where manufacturers want to have the agility of being very modular, still want to customize their cell, and that's where the click and customize work cell come into play. We offer that for machine tending. We offer that for welding as well, where manufacturers can leverage the power of the platform.
Yes.
But the key building block of the robot cell is still predefined, pre-configured, pre-engineered. So you get better time to market, better payback, lower cost for manufacturers. So it's kind of an in-between between those highly productized application and the freeform Lego that Vention provide.
So one of the ones I heard in chatting with your staff here at the show is that you also got a sanding application.
Yes. It's not at the show, but cabinet making is such an important industry, and it's an industry that stays local. There's a local, cabinet making industry in Canada. There's one in the U.S. There's one in Germany. And the level of automation of those businesses is very much at its infancy.
Yes.
And training a sender is actually a complex task. It will take around 6 to 9 weeks to train somebody how to sand panel with the craftsmanship that is needed.
Yes.
So, and robotics are pretty good at doing that because they are so consistent. right? So we release the rapid sending robot cells in partnership with 3Ms,
Yep.
which is what I would define as a fully autonomous robot cell application. An operator simply put the panel he's desired to send. The robot will survey the cell, define which panel needs to be sended, the geometry of those panels, and will define his own path planning. So you get to a product that is very easy to operate, no programming needed, and again, those cabinet making shop can automate now with a product that is very simple.
And you, of course, in the booth have a palletizer, and which is it's kind of funny because there's still lots of palletizing needed out in industry.
Yeah. Palletizing is probably one of the most now ubiquitous use case. Everybody in every manufacturing floor, you manufacture a good, you put it in a box, and those box goes on pallet. I think this is the most common thing that happen, and there's still so many manufacturers that still palletize in a manual fashion, and those jobs are hard, physically speaking. They create injuries, and they're hard to staff. So automating robotic palletizing now is very easy. Those products are matured. To give you a sense, the Vention palletizing solution comes with FANUC, comes with ABB, comes with UR, so you can have the choice of the brand you want. Mm-hmm. We're at our 4th generation, very mature, very stable products. And to deliver a 1-year ROI is quite common. Especially if you're operating 2 shifts, you will always be at a 1-year ROI.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
That's what CFO wants to hear.
Absolutely. And where do you see, so you've released 2 new products here?
We've released actually several. Machine Motion AI is by far the most centerpiece product we released, but we also have application for Machine Motion AI, including our AI operator. Mm-hmm. And Jim, if you remember a few years ago, we saw AI making their way into logistics and warehousing, and we're picking parcel using a suction cup. And it's a complex problem because you need to figure out where the parcel are, but it's significantly harder to solve for manufacturers because manufacturers are dealing with sub-millimeter precision. Mm-hmm. I need to grab the object in the exact way and place it in another machine in the exact way, the sub-millimeter precision. So we're very happy to showcase here our AI operator for manufacturers where we can grab with the right dexterity, very intricate mechanical part from a clutter bin and place it in a very structured fashion. And that enables us to automate machine tending use cases, bin tending use cases, with a product that is 0 training, so you don't have to spend months to train, and with a cycle time of roughly 3 to 5 seconds of inference. If you go back to the world of vision, just maybe 5 years ago, mm-hmm. the compute time was around 10 to 13 seconds, and at those cycle time, it's hard to replace a human.
Right.
You can do that very well when the cycle time gets closer to 3. So we're having that on display here at Automate.
And so who is buying AI from you? Like, this is the part that I love about Vention, is that who's buying what from and what products.
We're very privileged because we serve so many manufacturers, mm-hmm. small, mediums, but also large. We see a lot of adoption right now in the large to enterprise size clients that want to adopt AI. So their businesses, usually at least $100 million revenue, where they do have manual tasks that require that dexterity, mm-hmm. and they have a sizable amount of operator that are really hard to staff and really hard to retain. We're working with a company in the UK called McAlpine. Yep. They are the Kohler of UK, right? Okay. So they make plumbing products, toilet products, and so on. And they do have those very intricate valve assembly operation where an AI operator can do the job of what a human would do. And so you don't have to staff those lines and retain the workers and so on. So those would be a large company, for example.
So let's talk about training for these new products, because I'm kind of scared. I've got to order this product from Vention with AI. What do I need to know?
Yeah. So for our AI operator, we're deployment proof of concept. So we have amazing technology. We're not to a point where we have a product. So you have nothing to worry about. We're going to make bigger announcement this year regarding that. But the user experience that the technology that we work with will enable is for example, the shift supervisors to upload a 3D model, mm-hmm. wait for the initial processing to be done. We're talking 5 to 10 minutes, and then simply place the robotics operator in front of the machine, mm-hmm. show where the grab points are and the drop points, and get out of the way. Right? And as long as the part to be grabbed is available in a bin or on a tray, the AI operator will be able to fulfill his mission and stop when there's nothing left. So we're AI will enable us to get to a very simplistic user experience that is very different than the months of training we have seen with the current generation products.
Yeah. So what haven't we talked about yet that's in your booth or that is a function of Vention at the moment?
I think Vention at Automate, we have one of the biggest booths we ever had at Automate. And
nice.
Remember, Jim, our first booth was probably a 5x10 in front of the bathroom. So we came a long way. We have a lot of machine on display, a lot of software on display. We have a mix of technical people. My CTO is here. And obviously our commercial team is here. So if you want to go very low into the stack or want to have more of a business discussion, we're equipped to talk with so many people here.
And so if someone's hearing this or seeing this and they want to reach out, what's the best way for them to find out more if they want to do some work with Vention?
Yeah, the best way is to go online, vention.com. And, there's many ways you can connect with their team, either through the designer experience or through a supported experience by reaching out to the team from the website. And from there, we're going to pair the client with the right level of expertise.
Yes.
If the client want to talk cabinet making, we have expert for that. If the clients want to talk about CNC machine tending, and we have other expert for that. So we bring the client to the right expert level at Vention for their use cases.
So you're never alone.
We're never alone when you walk with Vention. We have a pretty big team all across the United States, Canada, UK, and Germany. So we're ready to work with a lot of manufacturers.
What about ongoing support? Is that something that that comes up on your radar?
All the time. It's a stat that I like is the world of industrial automation, unfortunately, does not have a good track record for support. The average net promoter score in industry is between 25 to 35 points. Vention, because we've platformed, we keep reusing the same part, over and over again. It leads to very reliable machines. So our net promoter score is around 70 points, which is double the industry average. And we care about our client, but probably just as much as some other people, right? Sure. And but structurally, we're structured to make sure machines are more reliable, clients more happy. Now, a big difference is we have a technical team on support, on standby all the time, from Europe to the United States. So we cover multiple time zones. And that team is staffed by expertise level because our machines are connected. We can take care of a simple order question up to remotely connected to a machine and going to adjust the code running inside a machine. So that sophisticated support infrastructure, that was core to how we operate. We started to build that function that day zero at Vention enable us to support today around 20,000 machines that are deployed in the field with the level of satisfaction we see.
That's great. Well, listen, congratulations, all the new products, and love to keep the conversation going. And thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us, Jim.